Hey everyone, Dennis and
Stephanie K.
so welcome to the channel, guys. We really appreciate you watching. And today's video's topic is Belize. Just try it.
Just do it.
Just try it, guys. All right, don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel you have to go all in. You know what? We are big fans of just tasting something. In fact, last night, Steph and I were staying at Airbnb. She treated me to a week away this week. And last night we ordered Vietnamese food or Thai food.
It was actually like Asian fusion because it was Thai. I wanted pad Thai, but they also had bo bun, which is Vietnamese. So it was kind of, a lot of the people here will do all together because they do whatever's popular, and bo bun is pretty popular right now. We wanted the fresh, the mint, all that stuff.
Yeah, and I know ordering out Thai food or Vietnamese food or whatever, ordering in sushi, whatever it is, that's become pretty commonplace right now all around the world, even the United States, right? But you know, when you and I grew up, in the town we grew up in, I don't think there was a sushi restaurant. There wasn't a Thai restaurant.
Even when we were in our 20s, when we left in our 20s,
you were in your 20s. I was a little older.
Well, I was 26. You were 31.
Right.
Okay. We had to go to Saginaw, which is 15 minutes away, the next biggest city, to get sushi, and there was one restaurant. So no, there was not. And we would have friends and family that would be like, ew, you want to eat raw fish? What are you doing? And we're like, try it. You might like it.
Right.
So that's what we're asking you to do.
Just try it.
Right. You can always spit it out. You don't have to eat it for the rest of your life.
Right.
You can just try it, or try the cooked sushi, or the tempura.
So if any of you guys grew up the way we did in a smaller town or medium-sized town, and if you were about my age, then you might relate to this, that while we were growing up, we didn't have a big variety of food, and when anything new came, for example, Indian food, Thai food, Japanese food, at first you're a little apprehensive, right? Because we're just not used to it. But once you get a taste, then food becomes an adventure. And, just look at how many cooking shows now are popular on the Food Network and others. There are entire shows dedicated to exploring all the different foods that the world has to offer. So what does this have to do with Belize, Steph?
I don't know. That's your. I would say that where you're going, just because we've been married 28 years and I kind of have a little insight into you, is that you're saying something like, you're not married to whatever you're trying. If you want to try something, you can try it. But that doesn't mean you have to live in Belize for the rest of your life. You have to give up the place that you come from and all your friends and family from there. You could just have a second home there. You could have an Airbnb there that you let out for most of the time that pays for itself in a lot of ways. You can have all sorts of things. And guess what? If your things change in your life, someone can always sell it for you.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't have to be permanent. So here's the thing with Belize, and this is the reason this is coming out. Over the past, I would say, 6 months, Steph and I have worked with so many different clients. The ages have been from, the youngest was 21 years old, who bought their own lot just east of Secret Beach.
Yay, that's super exciting.
The oldest was this week. They were in their mid-70s, and this couple has bought a lot on the northeast side, and we're working on buying them a condo right now, and they are moving to Belize. So in July, they're coming down, and they're moving to Belize. I think they're in their mid-70s, at least 75.
Woo-hoo.
So look at that, the age range, 21 to 75, and everything in between. So for example, right now, we have a family of 4 clients that bought property from us. They're staying in Belize for a month right now. They got 2 cute little girls. All right, so you got mom and dad, 2 cute little girls checking out Belize. They already bought their property, and now they're exploring what their life is going to be like when they eventually move there, right? So we have all these different clients we're working with, and with each of them, some are absolutely determined to leave Europe or the US or Canada and make Belize their permanent home. And to them, I say, fantastic. Belize is a great place to live your entire life. But for others of you, you don't quite know what the future is going to bring yet, right?
So not a lot of people do.
Right, exactly. I mean, this year has proven that.
Yeah,
right?
Who knew?
So what advice would you have, maybe to someone in their 20s, 30s, or 40s, regarding testing out Belize and seeing if it works for them?
Well, first of all, I wish in my 20s I had bought at Tracy Coco's when the land was way cheaper, and that's as far as you could go really comfortably. Who knew that all these little town-like areas were coming up? That's exciting. So yeah, I would have told my younger self, buy up more property, as much as you can afford, buy it up. And that doesn't mean I have to live on that property for the rest of my life. I could build something on it, or I could sell it and buy something else where I do want, or put it into a condo. There's a lot of different things. So
Yeah, that's good advice, because we have a lot of clients that have been to Belize before, and maybe they know some history of Ambergris Caye, and they're saying, man, back 10 years ago, I could have bought this for this. Yeah, you could have.
But you didn't.
But you didn't.
Just
right?
like Bitcoin and all that, you didn't.
Exactly. So our advice would be, one of the things you could do to taste Belize is at first just get involved as an investor. And we're not talking about dumping tens of thousands of dollars into Belize, into a major house or condo. Just taste it by getting your own small slice of paradise.
I think people, and even I had the idea before all of this, you had to be a trust fund baby or make a ton of money and be like super rich in order to even think about buying property in a foreign country. But we had a boat, we had cars when we were in the States, and we made a payment on them. And then we paid them off, and that felt great. But so, you don't have to plunk down a huge chunk. You can finance it and then pay it off in chunks when you get it, or just keep paying on it for a little while, and then it'll be there when you're ready.
Exactly. Let me give another example. We had a lady email us yesterday, and she's in her mid-60s, and she said, Dennis, after I sell my house, I'm going to have X number of dollars to come down, plus this much money coming in through my Social Security and other ways. And she says, could I buy a piece of property, build a house? And after talking with her, I realized that, she's not a really good candidate for taking all that money, that lump sum of money, and investing into a piece of land and building a house. Because as we worked through her finances, I just felt uncomfortable having her go all in at this point. So what I recommended to her is like, look, just take some of that money, put it, of course, in savings, because you want a nice padding of savings when you reach a certain age in life. You don't want to have to start all over. But with other small portion of your money, buy a piece of land in an upcoming area. Now she says, yeah, but I don't want to live in the area. So no, that's not what I'm suggesting. Buy the land as an investment with just a small portion of your money.
Put your toe in the water.
Put your toe in the water, and then just go and rent something. You can rent something on Ambergris Caye. Find a nice little 1 or 2 bedroom condo, maybe at Ambergris Lake Villas or Mar Laguna Estates. Why are you laughing at me?
So you talked her out of a gigantic commission.
Yes.
To have a place that you rent that you get absolutely no commission from.
Right.
Because we don't get commissions from any rentals. Because it was better for her, because you felt more responsible for her. He does this. He feels responsible for all of you. He wants to make sure you're making a good decision. And that's one of the great things about him, because sometimes if you're not sure, he's not going to push you into it. He's going to be like, you should be 100% sure. You should jump in, but jump in responsibly.
Right.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. So here's the deal on that. And Steph's absolutely right. And I didn't think about that. But I do sometimes try to talk people out of buying properties. I give you an example. About a month ago, I had a woman come to me and she wanted to buy a beachfront property at Secret Beach. And the more I talked to her, the more I realized this was not a good purchase for her. She had family situations. She had other limitations in her life. And I actually came to the point where I backed out of the sale. I said, look, I will not help you to purchase this property, but if you want to, go with another agent.
Because you don't want your name on it?
Because, yeah, absolutely. So what if I sell people something and maybe they buy because just they were excited in the moment and they bought from me because
a dream.
Yeah, they're watching our YouTube channels. They feel like, oh, it's cool. But what happens after they buy? They get down there, and what if they don't like what they buy, or what if it's not right for them, right? Now, to me, I'm partially responsible, for that.
Because you sold them the dream.
Right, exactly.
And it's not the dream for them.
Right. So that's why before I sell anybody any property, I get on a Zoom call. We spend at least an hour together, oftentimes more, because I really want to know what each person wants, because what they need might not be what they want.
Well, you're not going to put a young family far away from a school.
There you go. That's my point. There you go. Again, just last week, had a couple on who have 3 kids. One was very young, two were teenagers, and they wanted to know about the school situation. So we went through it. Where's the high school located? Where's Island Academy? If they chose to live in one part of the island, what would it look like coming back and forth? So here's the deal on that. I'll give you an example. This is great. This is great stuff. You are such a good prompter. So they wanted to buy in and around Secret Beach. I understand why. Beautiful swimming waters, absolutely awesome. And the more I talk to them, I say, look, you gotta put yourself in an area where you got to think about what you're going to do every day. For example, with 3 kids in school, they need to be where the schools are. All right, at least initially.
It's going to get tiring in a golf cart early in the morning every day coming into town.
Yeah, so you got to think about that. 2 trips a day, getting the kids back and forth to school. Plus, they're going to have things like after-school activities and sports and all that kind of good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, look, rather than buying at Secret Beach, you guys should look at the east part of the island. Nice, close to the ocean. Maybe look at a second, third, or fourth row lot closer to the east side. Puts you in close proximity to the schools. But when you want to go to Secret Beach, it's literally 3 miles by golf cart. So a 10-minute ride by golf cart to go to the beach and swim and eat. But which is more important, right, at this point in your life?
Yeah.
So there you go. We started this off where test the waters.
Yes.
Test the waters. So
you don't have to be married to it. You're not tattooing it on your body. It's not a permanent decision.
Right.
Things change, circumstances change, your feelings might change, and you can just try it out. And if it doesn't work out, you can say, Dennis, I'm sorry, I don't want to buy anything, or I bought this and it's not for me. And 10 times out of 10, he's going to have someone else be like, what? That property came back up for, I wanted it last time. Thank you. I will buy it. And guess what? It's going to be worth more next year.
Right.
So you might make a little profit on it too. So
right.
Win-win.
Absolutely. No, that's good. So try Belize. Just try it. Even if at this point in your life you're not able to buy or invest in property, that's quite all right. Come down, rent a place for a month. Rent a place for 6 months. Rent a place for a year, right? I mean,
we did.
What's the worst? Awesome. Yeah, exactly. We always rented. Why? So some people say, "What, Dennis? You don't even own your own house in Belize?" Like, no. It's like as a real estate agent, we choose to invest our money in Belize, but as far as where we live, we choose to rent because our money we prefer to have in investments, and that's true with a lot of my clients.
We're not real big on decorating. I don't know if you can tell, or we liked that it was completely furnished. We also lived at boutique hotels before, and they had the pool, they had everything there, the landscaper, the gardeners. We didn't have to deal with any of that. All of it was taken care of, and it was like living at a posh resort. Mm-hmm. And then we've just lived at apartment communities, and that was nice too. Mm-hmm. We lived, seriously, you could throw something to hit the water. Yeah. And gorgeous views, great landlords. It works for them because, you're helping them by renting their place. Mm-hmm. And then, a lot of them are island families. Yeah. And that's what they do for having extra money. They'll buy a piece of land or buy another piece of property or apartment, and then they'll use the money to help them pay their bills. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a win-win. I just think it's funny that you tell people to do that when you have no
well, and here's the change.
No skin in the game.
Here's the change on that, is that we've never actually owned our own home, but we've owned lot of property.
We've owned a home.
Yeah. So we own a ton of property. We own beachfront property on Belize. We own off-beach property, Secret Beach property.
We redid a home in the States.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing, is that times have changed, and now with the Ambergris Key Airbnb market the way it is, we own 2 lots very close to the beach at Secret Beach, right near all the action. So now our thought is, what can we build to take advantage of the rental market now at Secret Beach, realizing that there's not a whole lot of availability when it comes for things to rent. So do we build casitas? Do we build single-family homes? Do we build workers' housing? There's going to be a high demand for Belizeans who now live in San Pedro town and other areas close to San Pedro to actually live in and around Secret Beach as they work as tour guides and waiters and waitresses and bartenders and everything else up there. So now the question is, what do we build? So we're evolving also.
About that, but I actually would really love to do that because we know what you need, because a lot of times we'll be in the Airbnb market, and the one we just stayed at had a tiny little kitchen. So like, sure, workers aren't going to be there that often, but there's some things they need. They need a full-size fridge, and a lot of the workers apartments now don't have that. A lot of the places do have a lady that cooks for them and takes good care of them, but you need your privacy. You need, so better workers housing would really hit a nice spot.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
they work so hard on the beautiful homes on Amber's Key, so they really need a place to go home at night and lay their head, something.
Or I can just open up a wine shop at Secret Beach.
You could.
What do you think about that?
I would never get you out of there.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for watching today. We really appreciate it. Belize, just try it. If you need any more tips, tricks, or feedback, go ahead and hit us up in the comments below. Email us. And please subscribe to the channel. We value your support, and we hope to see you in Belize soon.
Bye.